So we're talking about Song Sung Blue. Did everybody get a chance to see the movie?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, great, great. And how many people were able to watch the documentary?
Yeah, I did too.
Oh, great. Okay, good, good. And Mary, thanks for sending that out to people. I really liked it. I really
You're
liked.
welcome. Yeah.
Um, so what difference did you see between the documentary and the movie? Mary?
I'm not remembering exactly. I mean, both were,
Other people?
yeah.
I I saw the movie a couple of months ago,
Okay.
and I just watched the documentary. Um, the documentary to me was much more raw. I mean, you saw the real thunder and lightning, right? And the what appeared to be the chaos that they lived in. I guess I would say the movie was. Showed some rough parts about their life, but it was a little gentler, I think.
Do you mean, Mary Jo, do you mean gentler than the movie was more gentle than the documentary, right?
Yes, I felt so.
Yes. Yes.
Hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
And of
Did the
course, go ahead.
documentary have a friend of Hugh Jackman's that was a dentist? Or you don't know?
Yes, it did. He was in
Yes.
it.
Yeah.
I thought that was very unusual. I mean, he had a good support system, at least in the movie, with this
Right.
dentist and other friends of his, and the AA meeting supported him, and he never went off the wagon. Um, but yeah, I found that a little almost too good to be true. But
Those were real people, and I had that in my notes too. He was really surrounded by supportive people who believed in his dream.
mhm.
When on paper it really didn't look so great. um, so that was a real treat to see those real people and hear him talk. I mean, uh, and I thought the movie was based on a real story, but you never know how much gets fictionalized. But they were pretty close. Um, really. One thing I wondered about in the documentary is, did he really never take a drink? Because there were a couple of times in the documentary where he looked pretty sloppy. Um, he's kind of slavering all over Claire, and maybe that's just how he was, but I question it. But I mean,
Yeah,
the story's the story.
right, right. I think that the documentary to me seemed like they led a much, and I'm going to use this word squalid, a much rougher life. I mean, that was what somebody said, more raw. It they didn't, but then a movie's a movie and a documentary is not a movie. And but they didn't live in the same circumstances or under the same um environment that the movie showed to me. I mean,
And one of the things that I thought was interesting, I mean, you're in Michigan. My daughter lives near Milwaukee, and we're in Milwaukee a lot. And I've been in Milwaukee off and on for the last 30 years, and it's changed a lot. It's a real, it's a very typical blue collar, working class neighborhood that he never left. And so while they were successful in supporting themselves for a good while doing the singing, um, I think it really was a group of friends. I mean, like her family talking about nobody in our family could sing. We don't know where she got this from. And he has this passion for being a performer that comes through in that documentary. Uh, like he can't imagine doing anything else except what he's doing. And to come out of a working class blue collar neighborhood and still live in that neighborhood and still have that dream, I found both touching and depressing, to be honest. It's just
Yeah.
the whole the documentary I found not just raw but sad. Lots of it is sad and difficult. Their lives were not easy, and their kids' lives were not easy at all. I thought the movie kind of, shines that up a bit and makes it easier to deal with.
How did the documentary handle the car getting her? I mean, it seemed in the movie that I did not watch the documentary. I've kept it. I just haven't found time to watch it. It sounds like I should watch it from what
You
you're all
should.
saying. How did they handle the car accidents? The car.
They showed the news footage of what
Mhm.
happened. So it
Uh,
was, I mean, they didn't show obviously the actual accident, but they cut right to what did happen and how it happened and what the results were. Um,
And a
so,
neighbor lady sees it happen, runs over, takes a piece of cloth and makes a tourniquet, or she would have died. I
right.
mean, her
uh,
leg was cut off and she was bleeding. She was
Wow.
bleeding out. And the neighbor lady, and they interviewed her on the news thing. And I was just like, I mean, this is stuff that really happens to people, and it really happened to them. And it was a miracle she was alive, honestly. If that woman hadn't been there and known what to do, she
right.
probably wouldn't have made it.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought they
Yeah,
handled it.
and
Go
it
ahead.
seems like they kind of did it in a similar way. And I mean, in the movie, it's just kind of like sudden, and the screen goes black. And they did this kind of the same thing in the documentary. Like they're ticking along, and then just and
Boom.
it was right, just really kind of an emotional roller coaster for sure. Um, Real well done, I think.
And the car really did crash into her in
Oh,
the
yeah.
front yard, just like what the movie showed.
Yeah,
Not
and into
only
her.
that, but a few years later, somebody else ran into the house again.
Yeah,
Yep.
It
they
happened
pinned.
twice.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, the car
that was going
pinned.
to be my next question. Was did that part happen too? It did. Okay.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
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 So
I don't
kind
know
of
whether
like,
to say these people lead a charmed life.
or a cursed life.
Yeah,
It seems
really.
like.
Yeah. Well, it probably had something to do with the placement of the house too, at a place where it was easy for a car to run into them. You know how
Is that an
lots of people
intersection?
plant a big tree in their front yard if there's a road coming towards their house, but they obviously didn't do that
Yeah.
to protect.
Actually, I've driven by neighborhoods where there's it's winter, the roads are icy, and you've got a big turn in the road. I would not buy that house at the end of the road.
Yeah, I had a friend who lived in Howell that had a street come up, and one night a drunk person literally hit their house and drove the truck all the way to the front door across their front porch.
Oh
You wake up
my.
at 3 in the morning and you look out the window and there's a truck and they see the guy climbing out the window and running away.
Oh, boy.
Left a
Oh,
running truck on the porch. I mean, it was crazy. So yeah, it's like these things really happen.
Yeah. Yeah. And people who have the means can purchase houses that are not in those predicament type
Yeah.
areas, but sometimes people who don't have the means can't. They take the house because it's available and it's
I have
cheap.
to say, I don't think my friends ever dreamed in a million years someone would run into their house. It wasn't even a thought in their mind.
Yeah.
that's
I felt in the documentary that the whole accident and her recovery really was very drawn out. I don't know if anyone else felt that way, but her recovery and the depression and just the way in which it completely derailed their dream was really it was hard enough in the movie, but in the documentary, oh my gosh, it was horrible.
But isn't that kind of typical when people get put on, they're in excruciating pain, they get put on medications that wreck their lives. I mean, that wreck everything, that are just so controlling over their bodies and their minds that they become a different person. And
Yes.
their families cannot interact with them the same because they're high all the time. I don't think I think that was pretty honest. I mean, what happened to them, I think has happened to other families. when
Yes,
people become addicted for whatever reason to whatever.
yes. Again, I just felt in the movie, it was horrible, but watching the documentary just made me realize how terrible it was, because the documentary is, I loved the movie, um, but the documentary does not give them any grace whatsoever, right? I mean, that whole period then was just, it was horrifying.
Yeah,
Um,
it showed what was going on in their family in
oh,
um at length.
yes,
As I watched the documentary, I kept thinking to myself, they must have started just they must have decided to do this documentary early on because they got so much footage of their life together and what was going on. And it's almost felt to me like, did they put this together somehow after the fact? Because there was so much truth in there of how they were
sure felt
living.
like it. Yeah,
It was clear they didn't have the resources, even though you would have thought they were making good money. And I mean, they were fronting for Pearl Jam, so they must have been making pretty good money. They had an
I'm not
agent.
sure they made the best decisions on what they were
hmm,
doing with their money. Possibly, um, I don't know. For one thing, they had about 1 million costume changes, and I understand you need, in what they were doing in that type of entertainment, you need some of that. But I thought it was excessive. Um, they had pets. They were cigarette smokers. There was a lot of, choices that they were making that, I mean, that's not going to get them out of debt necessarily to give those things up, but it wasn't helping them either.
Right.
Yeah.
Good
I go
point.
back to they were typical of where I grew up. I mean, these are typical working class, blue collar people. Nothing, they were not educated beyond high school, and they lived in a place where everybody else was just like them. It was, I
Mhm.
mean, my brothers, these are my brothers. It's
Yeah.
just,
Do we know what year this accident occurred? Was
That's a
it
good
60s,
question.
70s, 80s?
I should know. I didn't.
Pearl Jam was brand new. Pearl Jam was really young, so they were already well known at that point.
It
Um,
must have been something like the 80s because in the
I think so.
documentary, he had a reasonable home computer setup. I mean, it wasn't anything like what we have now, but it was reasonable for the 80s, I think. 70s would be too early for that
Yeah.
kind of computer setup.
1990 is when Pearl Jam started big, but that
Okay.
doesn't say when they started.
Yeah, their first big show was October of 1990 in Seattle, it says. So, and they were already well known. I mean, they were like
Right.
stars in Milwaukee.
Yeah. So this must have been mid 90s
I would
Yeah.
say that they
at
probably
least.
through the 80s, they were probably doing stuff through the 80s.
Well, they were playing the local taverns and nightclubs and bars. I mean,
Right.
they were
So the local people knew them. That's why it was a big deal to be in at
sure.
that show. And for Pearl Jam, it was local for them.
Right.
I
I
was
have a question. I started the documentary last night and I fell asleep, so I didn't watch it all. But the ending of it, was it different than the movie? Because I read a lot about the movie that was in the theater prior to going to it, and then I had found out the documentary existed. But when I read about how his end was much different than the ending in the movie. He died much later. He didn't die like in the theater version of it. So I wondered if they shared, well, how did it end, the ending? How did it end, the documentary?
it took him a long time to die of his heart condition. As
He
I
died in
read,
2006.
Yeah.
yeah.
And the accident occurred May 10th, 1999.
And it says that the story takes place through the 80s and early 90s.
Okay.
Right. And in the documentary, he has bypass surgery and recovers from that and then goes back out. And then he winds up having a stroke. And he said something about hitting his head, which we see in the movie. His head, he fell and hit his head in the bathroom. And they think that may have contributed to the stroke. And that, I think, was his final
Sayonara.
illness.
But I
Yeah.
think that the documentary told a lot more than the movie from the time they originally said he was going to go and meet Neil Diamond in person. Because as he was on his way to do that, as I recall, was when he died in the car. So he was gone. Whereas what you're saying, and I think the documentary showed, it took him a long time to die. And he didn't live a good life while he was dying, I guess. That's the way to put it. So, but I was impressed with how much past the movie the documentary went. So, which I think is kind of what you're asking. I mean,
Yeah,
they,
I just was
yeah, they
curious.
talked
Yeah.
about the funeral and picking out caskets and all kinds of things that the movie just ended. You know, he ended and the movie ended. That was kind of my impression of what happened.
He had the funeral service. And she sang, and that was the last thing I remember
From the movie.
from the movie.
Yeah. Yeah. So that when the guitar came from Eddie Vedder, the gift she got and all that, that wasn't in the movie.
No.
I mean,
Yeah.
I hate to admit I saw it 2 months ago, so I don't remember it quite as well, but yeah, it didn't show most of the things that the documentary did.
Yeah. Google says he hit his head on a dresser drawer at home 7 days prior to his death, but refused medical treatment because he didn't want to cancel a scheduled performance in Madison.
Mm.
Yeah.
So they used that component, but they just moved it up.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Was it the Pearl Jam concert? I'm thinking.
And
No,
In
it was
in
after that,
movie. Yeah, the incident,
I
he
think.
did hit his head, and he did die within a week, I think, in the movie.
Yeah.
But the incident happened much later than time frame in the movie, I think.
Yeah.
The movie showed that she went on to perform. Was that in the documentary? That she had a career afterwards?
I think so. I think it showed that she was singing by herself. Um, who saw it really recently? Does anybody remember?
That's part of my
That's not-
problem too. I watched it a
I
month and a
did.
half ago. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
You
The
watch it
documentary,
when you can.
it wasn't real. I mean, it wasn't really clear in the documentary what she. I mean, they did show her performing as Thunder,
Right.
but who knows how
How-
well that took off.
Right.
You know, I mean, you can actually see a clip of her singing with Kate Hudson on
Mm.
YouTube, which after when the movie was coming out and stuff, that
So
that was
That must
something.
have been something.
It was something.
I
Not sure what, but it was
so
something.
so you that brings up a good question. What did you all think of the casting? Kate Hudson and Hugh Jackman.
I liked it.
Yeah,
Amazing.
I liked the daughter
Amazing.
too. I thought she did a good job. Yeah.
And the son
Mhm.
and the
The son-
helpers. It was beautiful. They did a terrific job.
I was,
Yeah.
I mean, I continue to be amazed that Hugh Jackman can sing like he does because this is not his first musical by any stretch. He was on Broadway in Music Man and he did, I think, Greatest Showman, something like that. But I mean, he's done other musicals and Les Mis maybe, but he just doesn't seem to me like somebody who would be a singer. But I thought they both did a good job.
Yeah.
I have to say, the casting I thought was phenomenal too. I had or Hugh Jackman, he seemed kind of, I know they were making him to the era that it was, but his seemed a little less believable. His look, I don't know why,
Uh-huh.
but he did look like the guy, the little bit I saw in the documentary. But Kate Hudson, I was really surprised about her, more so about the singing than him, because I was aware of him. But she apparently has been singing her whole life, but just never got into a role. Maybe someone else read something differently, but somehow, somewhere along the way, Hugh Jackman found out that she was able to sing, and I think he's the one that he had been selected first, and he's the one who ended up getting Kate Hudson to be the wife in the show. Did anybody else read that?
I
It's
had
been a
heard that. Yeah.
yeah.
That's
Anyway, I
fascinating.
was surprised by her ability to sing. I've never seen her sing anything.
Mm-mm.
I agree. And when I was in the theater for the movie, I kept saying to myself, is she lip syncing? Or is she really doing? I did not know she was really singing that. She
Yeah.
has a very good voice.
Mm-hmm.
So apparently, Claire Sardinia Thunder went back to performing about 10 years after Mike's death in 2016, and she's still singing to this day.
Mm.
Thunder After Lightning is her duo now with Tony Luciano, and they are making guest appearances. They made a major tribute performance in early 2026 on the So Good, the Neil Diamond Experience tour, where she sang things such as You Don't Bring Me Flowers.
Mm.
But she's been great since the movie, since everything happened. I think the movie itself probably was 2025, so it sparked her
Yeah.
career even more.
She probably got a fair amount of royalties too, I would think, if she has a reasonably decent agent. But yeah,
I would guess so too.
I thought it was interesting. I was watching the Oscars, and when they were interviewing Kate Hudson, um, the interviewer said, "So, what was your favorite song?" And she said, "Of course, um, everybody thought that which one was it?
Carolina.
Sweet
Caroline."
Carolina.
Yeah, she said that it was Forever in Blue Jeans was the one that they really liked the best.
Mm.
And
Mm.
um, they didn't mention that song that he kept saying he wanted to start with all the time. Suami.
Suleiman. Yeah.
Suleiman. Yeah. They
Yeah.
literally didn't mention that once in the documentary that I heard.
No, I didn't hear it either.
So maybe that was just a ploy that the movie used in order to make this more, I don't know, contentious or maybe make it more of an issue.
Yeah, maybe elaborate on the story a little bit more.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
They did have some footage in the documentary from that Chicago gig that they did with the bikers. And you know, he was on stage singing and it wasn't going well, but then they cut you couldn't really tell what the song was. Um, and then they cut away from it. So scary.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the
Yeah.
places they played, I'm sure that they had very different audiences from
Yeah.
time to time. And
Well, and I think getting back to the idea of them making money, I think the money was really irregular, probably. They made a whole lot of money one night, but then, they had to cover bills for the last 6 months. And then they did another show and made some money, but that was enough to cover another bill or two. I think anybody who has uh, art, drama, theater, music, all of those things. Their income is sort of up and down, and think out of necessity, develop a different kind of lifestyle because of that. And if you read any books by any movie stars, they'll tell you that they were doing all these great shows, but they really didn't have a steady income. So it didn't go well for them for a long time. They were still scraping pennies. If you've got kids and you're trying to support all that goes along with a family, I don't think it's easy.
It's
I
definitely
liked
better if
her
you
mother in
marry.
the documentary. What did
Sorry?
you think about her mom in the documentary?
Perfect. Just like she
Yeah,
stepped out of the movie. I
He was a
mean,
piece of work.
yeah.
she's a crack up. So stolid, so classic Midwest. Probably, religious to a degree. I don't know, but oh man.
And
What a,
brutally honest.
yeah, that was a crack up. I have to say, I mean, I loved Kate Hudson's Wisconsin accent. It just cracked me up. I mean, it was good. That it was just a movie where I was completely drawn in. I believed these characters were who they were. It was great. That doesn't happen all the time.
They did a very, very good job putting that together. No
Yeah.
question about it. Other reactions?
So I have to admit, I did not know anything really about the movie other than I'm a huge Neil Diamond fan. And I thought, like I said, didn't know what this movie was going to be about. Cindy and I said, had an evening, I said, well, I want to watch this because the UMRA movie group is watching it. And
Uh-huh.
I've heard good things about it. I knew nothing about it. So I was expecting to have Neil Diamond pop in and out, or it
Oh,
would be more of his show. We didn't know that. We didn't know that at all. And
like,
so then when we were watching, it's like, oh, are we going to be really disappointed? Absolutely not. We just got, as several of you have said, we just got drawn into it. It's like, oh my gosh, what these people went through, and we did say when we were done, boy, they picked out the actors and actresses perfect for this. And I mean, we just were really impressed with the whole movie and even though it was much a surprise, so I say I should do a little more research before I watch a movie. But on the other hand,
Yeah, on the other
it
hand,
was a pretty nice surprise.
mhm,
we do
mhm.
some of the research afterwards.
Yeah,
Obviously, you guys have all done
good.
so, and I appreciate that a great deal. I thought it was interesting too, sort of from the beginning, that they insisted this was not a Neil Diamond impersonation. This
Yeah.
was a tribute, in fact, what they call a tribute act.
Interpretation.
Yeah, it was not an impression, it wasn't an impressionism. They weren't trying to be him. They were just trying to pay tribute to him and his music, which I
Well,
thought,
there's lots of people do that, like with Elvis and a lot of other big names.
Mhm.
You're familiar with it, people doing that type of thing.
yeah, although some of them call themselves actually impersonators.
Mhm.
And
That
I
yes,
and then
yes,
they
both
made it
directions.
very, yeah, they made it very clear that although their appearances were, um, oh, I guess I was thinking of the movie versus the documentary, but he made himself kind of look like Neil Diamond, but not to the point where he was trying to impersonate him.
And of course, and at the time when he started singing Neil Diamond songs, Neil Diamond was still out there, and the fashions were the fashions of the 80s. You forget how crazy weird some of the clothes were people were wearing at that time. It's not as bad as the Nehru jackets from the previous decade, but the slick clothes and all that stuff. I thought that one of the things I thought it was it gives life to how much talent there is out there in the world that never makes it big, right? That they're really good at singing or dancing or theater or whatever. All the local artists, most of whom have other jobs and do this. I live in a community that has 3 opera companies,
Oh
and
my.
they're all trained opera singers, and almost all of them have other jobs. Opera is their passion. They put on wonderful operas. We love going to see them. and they have incredible voices, and they just don't have there just isn't enough world space for all the people who could do it and who want to do it at the level of Eddie Vedder or Neil Diamond or whatever. So, um, yeah, and I think they do live on the margin. I mean, if you're really going to chase that dream, and they seemed happy. I mean, they accepted where they were in it. It wasn't like they were trying to go beyond that. They were happy in their community, being, local entertainers for people that lived within driving distance of where they lived for the most part. And I don't, I respect that. I would have gone and gotten a job.
That's a good point. And I think one of the things that I enjoy being here in Ann Arbor is going to watch the music theater and dance performances that are done, um, to see that incredible talent that's out there, and then keep your ears and eyes open as they move forward in the world. And when the script writer or the director, I can't remember who it was, got on the stage for La La Land for Best Picture and held up the Oscar and said, "Go Blue." I
Yeah.
mean, that was just
Mhm. Yeah.
spectacular. It really
Yep.
was.
Pasek and Paul, I think that's the duo that graduated from Michigan that did the
Mhm.
song. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. I was going to say, going back to Kate Hudson, sounds like mostly with her, I was surprised that she got the role because she's always cast into rom-coms or something.
Right.
But I think it reflects kind of a lot of things people are saying, that it's a hard job in the music world, but it's also in the acting world. She was pre-cast into these roles, and because someone believed in her and took a little extra effort, she got to do a serious role, and she took it seriously. She gained weight for her role, and she worked on the accent part. Apparently, I think somewhere along the way they had a nanny from Wisconsin,
Oh,
or maybe she had, when she was growing up, they had a nanny, but there was somehow a nanny from Wisconsin, that she interacted with. So she actually had that person help her with the accent, and she was told she was almost going too far with it. So she was very, very serious about her role. I don't know. I was pretty impressed with her, and Hugh Jackman's just great. I did get to see him in The Music Man in Broadway, and
wow.
that was amazing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Fortunate. Helps to have a child who lives in Manhattan. You have a place to stay.
I think that's one of the hardest things that actors take on are not dialogue so much, but dialects. When they have to be Brits, or they have to be, like you say, from Wisconsin or from Mississippi or wherever, they study hard. They study hard and long. And I understand they actually go into those dialects or those speech patterns, in their real life, that they just kind of live that language until they're done with that movie. But
Well, Hugh Jackman is Australian.
yeah,
Yeah.
Right.
yes.
That's
Crazy.
amazing to me. How do you lose that accent?
You
Mhm.
don't. When you talk to Hugh Jackman, he sounds like he's from Australia. When you
Yeah.
talk to the character in the movie, he sounds like the character in the movie.
Yeah.
I always think it's really interesting that they can drop it and be
Mm.
themselves. I think I'd forget who I was after doing so many of these things. I'm always amazed that they still know who they are and can get back to that.
Almost
I
like
don't
learning a
watch.
foreign language, actually.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, good analogy. I don't watch a lot of the award shows. Did this movie win any awards? I know that Kate Hudson was nominated.
I don't remember. I
No,
can
I don't think so.
grab my notes and look it up. It maybe I know they got a lot of nominations. They were even nominated for Best Picture, but now that they've gone up to 10 movies, it's including 3 or 4 foreign ones. But anyway, I don't think they did win anything.
Hmm.
Um, that I,
I'm surprised.
yeah, that's another thing I should have looked up. Sorry.
I'm looking it up right now.
Oh, okay.
A lot of good competition.
Yeah.
It won the Razzie Redeemer Award for Hudson's performance.
The Raz,
Razzie Redeemer.
Razzie, Razzie, Redeemer
so that's
Award.
not,
They
probably
were
not.
nominated. Kate Hudson was nominated for Best Actress in the Oscars.
Right.
They were nominated. She was nominated also for that in the Golden Globes.
Right.
They won she won the Razzie Redeemer Award. I don't know what that is. The Critics Award winner of top 10 film. So it was a top 10 film of the year from the Phoenix Film Critics Society.
I
Okay.
thought one of the things I thought was great because I pretty much watched the Oscars religiously, um, without doing anything else at the time. And it was so good to see Goldie Hawn there. I mean, I've always loved her. Clearly, she's not the Goldie Hawn of 30, 40 years ago, but none of us are. But it was great to see her there and her and Kurt Russell too, of course, because those are Kate's parents. So um, I was glad that she, I guess I would say, was willing to come. A lot of the people who've aged um, aren't willing to be out in public like that on TV and all that in front of millions of people. But it was good to see her there and good to see Kurt there. And he's got that new show now, and I think on HBO. Anything else people can want to say about the movie?
I'd like to know if there was anything people didn't like about the movie.
Good question.
I would say that I thought there was too much music in it. It went slower, and they had so many repeated songs, and then we got the DVD from the library, so those always have special features afterwards, and you can see more about the show, how it came together. But even the special features were just having them sing a lot. So that was my only complaint.
Others?
So I just want to tell you what the Razzie Awards are before we get all impressed. The Razzie Awards, known as the Golden Raspberry Awards, are a parody award show that honors the worst films and performances of the year, satirically mirroring the Oscars. The Raspberry Redeemer Award goes to someone who has previously gotten the Razzie Award and has now redeemed themselves.
Oh, wow.
So they're basically handing her a compliment
Yeah.
because she's no longer on the list of the worst.
Thanks, Terry. That's good to know.
Poor woman.
But that was an award that she got an Oscar for, or just a side award?
She did not. She was nominated for an Oscar for this role, but she had gotten a Razzie Award for some other movie she was in the past. And that group gave her the Redeemer Award, which is the
Okay.
only award which is not a parody.
Yeah.
It's like saying this was really good,
Yeah.
and we're giving this to you because before you were really bad, and now you're really good. You did something really bad. I don't want to say she was bad. Something she was in the past. She got a Razzie Award.
Do they have the opposite, that that you had a really good movie and then the next one was really bad?
I think that's the original Razzie.
Yeah.
That's the Razzie.
There's always Rotten Tomatoes too. So
Yeah, yes.
Mhm.
anything else about this movie? Well, I'm glad everybody had a chance to see it, parts of it, in the documentary. And Mary, again, thanks for tuning us into that documentary.
It's nice having that.
It was sad, just a sad story.
It was. It
Mhm.
really showed the family dynamics and the situation in which they were living. And so if you saw it after the movie, it made you realize that the movie did definitely spruce things up.
Yeah.
And didn't pull out kind of the worst of the worst. Certainly the language they could have, fortunately didn't, but could have put a lot into the movie that they didn't, and that kind of thing. So I was
Yeah.
glad that the movie was as well done as it was, and still portrayed them as the people they were.
Carol, do you remember like the person who produced the documentary? what prompted him? Did he know this family? Does anybody know? Oh no, something prompted someone to create the documentary that the movie was based off of.
Probably that they were local talent,
Oh,
or that
maybe.
they were known well enough that someone wanted to create their real story. I mean, it must have been filmed over a few years
I think it was.
because
Yeah.
I mean they went all the way from their early times together singing. Um, and they may have, I don't remember if it was the movie or the documentary, they may have um acted out their meeting and how they decided to be Thunder and Lightning and all that. Was that part of the documentary or was it just part of the movie? I think it was
I think
just
it was just part of the movie.
yeah.
I think
Yeah.
most of the movie.
They
But one,
talked about it, but very briefly in the documentary.
yeah.
She
But the
talked about him taking her to a Brewers game or something
mhm.
in
Yeah.
the
After,
documentary,
but
but they didn't show it.
yeah,
Yeah.
everything at the end of it, probably the last 20 minutes of the documentary were really not much covered in the movie at all.
Yeah.
Right.
Said it was director Greg Coes, Kohs, had a fascination with Mike and Claire Sardinia and their story, and that they had a unique regional stardom. They had a cult following in Milwaukee, even opening for Pearl Jam in 1995, it says. And Coes was then an NHL film. He was at NHL Films. He felt compelled to document their lives after hearing about a bizarre gardening accident that disrupted their career, but not their passion. And the documentary aimed to capture their relentless dedication to performing despite hardships, intending to show them chasing a dream of performing in Vegas or Branson. He used old VHS footage of bar gigs and newsreel recordings, ultimately leading to the 2008 documentary that later inspired the 2025 feature film. It it premiered at the Slam Dance Film Festival in 2008. I've never heard of Slam Dance. Um, and anyways, yeah. So it was one particular person that really felt like their story was compelling. So
Thanks, Mary. That helps because remember I said they must have started filming really early, but if they used a lot of family footage, things that people were taking pictures of that nobody would have ever thought would have ever been used in any way except to show your family and friends, then um, that makes a lot of sense. I guess it just goes to show you, you better be videoing your families. You never know who's gonna be famous.
You can make a movie out of it.
On the other hand,
How long is the documentary? I need to go watch it. I just have to find some time to do it.
Almost 2 hours.
Is it? Okay. That's kind of what I was expecting. Yeah, that
So
I haven't
it's
got
less
to
than
it
that.
yet.
It's, more like 90 minutes, I think.
yeah, hour and a half maybe.
it
But
goes,
it was good. It was good.
yeah. And of course you can always pause it. So yeah.
Yeah, that's on the internet. You can find it anywhere. So
Yeah, I just went to YouTube.
Yeah.
So did he really have a lightning bolt on his tooth?
Yes.
Really?
Mhm.
They showed it in the documentary.
Why
that was
not?
a wild dentist.
Yeah. Be a counterculture dentist or something. It just didn't seem like the typical dentist.
No.
Well, Carol's never showed you the black M on her side tooth over there.
Oh,
I mean the tattoo, a little black M right over my heart. Is that what you need? Well,
So
thank you
before
all.
before we wrap up, I just want to remind everybody that our next meeting is May 12th.
Right? Rear window.
I saw that
movie.
already for the first
I
time.
did too, but I don't even remember it now. So
So I have to watch it again for sure.
I've
Oh,
seen
Lord,
it
I've
before,
probably
but it
seen
was
it
a
10
long time
times.
ago.
I had never seen it before. I do know that. Um,
Who's going to lead the discussion?
who recommended Rear Window?
Well, that's a good question. Let me look back at my,
Mhm.
let's see here, Rear Window.
Hopefully it's not one of us and we don't remember.
Carol, no, Rear Window. Carol
Me?
recommended it. Some other people had to recommended it too for it to get that high rating.
Yeah, whose original list was it on, I guess?
Andre Vasher,
Oh, Liz?
somebody
Well,
whose name I never knew. I just had their their list of songs, their list of things. Um,
Well,
let's see. That's not everybody now. Let me just look through here. Okay, so also Rosanna
Rear Window, I'd never seen it. I wouldn't be able to
and
recommend it.
Elizabeth Vasher.
oh, I did it too.
Yep.
Okay,
All of
Liz.
you listed it as one of your top 9 songs.
Okay. All right.
Or not songs, sorry. I meant the song mode. For your top 9 movies. Doesn't mean you saw it. It means that you thought it would be worth seeing.
So do you know what June's, I know I was looking to see which ones that I thought I put in there.
June is, hold on a second, I'll tell
The
you.
Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks.
That's right.
Okay.
Oh,
That's,
that's May.
that's
No, that's
June.
June.
Oh, I'm sorry. My thing's screwed up.
They
Okay.
don't. It doesn't line up
It
real
doesn't
well.
line up. You're right.
Right. So it's the second Tuesday
Right.
of every month.
Yeah.
So May 12th is Rear Window. June 9th is The Immortal Life of Henrietta Lacks.
That's me.
And July 14th is Never Look Away.
That's mine.
And then we skip August. Okay, so who said Never Look Away is mine?
Liz.
Liz, all right.
I know for sure that's me. I'm just wondering about May.
Does somebody
That's
else want to take on Rear Window?
And I can't really speak for Andre. Clearly, he's not here today. He's working, but he could be a maybe. I don't know, unless somebody else wants to volunteer.
You just have to tell him that since he wasn't here, he
He got nominated.
Everybody, Rear Window and When Harry Met Sally were my suggestions.
Oh, good.
Okay, so if you want
I'm just looking that up, so I can do Rear Window.
okay.
Or did we already have somebody doing that?
No, nobody's doing it yet.
Okay, so Mary Jo?
I was
Okay.
volunteering my husband, so I think it's good that I'm not doing that. Thank you.
He should volunteer himself.
That's
Okay,
right.
great.
Right.
Well, I assume there isn't any documentary about the Rear Window movie, so
You never know. There might
You
be
never
a
know.
documentary about the making of the movie.
So,
That's true.
I have a question. Rear Window is an Alfred Hitchcock, correct?
Yes.
Right.
yes.
So,
Jimmy Stewart, Grace Kelly.
so I guess it would be up to who's doing it?
Mary Jo.
Mary Jo.
There you go. Oh, she's off my screen. So Andre has this friend who is a huge Alfred Hitchcock fan. Like he knows stuff that is unbelievable. I don't know if we'd want to have any kind of a guest person join in.
Absolutely. That would be
Sure.
I don't know if he's available, if he'd be willing. But I guess we maybe need to know some criteria to not go overboard. He really knows stuff. I mean, it's like crazy about the Alfred Hitchcock stuff.
Well, maybe if he listens.
Why don't you check that out first? Because anything that I could do, I'm sure would just completely pale in comparison.
I'm saying he talks about, like, I think we went like on a walking tour. I'll just give you an example. We went on a walking tour in Palm Springs, and this one house was some actress from an Alfred Hitchcock movie. And I read something about it. I said it to him, like, there's this little bit part. He came back with all this information. I go, oh, God, I thought I was getting something good. He's just very knowledgeable. I I don't know if he wants to facilitate or anything, but he just maybe could share some perspective that we wouldn't think about if he's willing.
Maybe
That'd be great.
if he
Yeah, I don't
listens,
think I want to ask him to facilitate, but would he be willing to whatever?
sit in. Yeah.
Yeah.
If he listens to the discussion, he could elaborate on a lot of different things because we have time. So,
Okay.
yeah,
So
I mean,
I don't
I
know if
think
he's available, willing, whatever. I
I
think
think
he's
it's a great
willing.
idea.
Okay. If you guys are
Everybody-
okay with it, I'll
That
ask.
sounds very good. Thank you.
So did
Okay.
somebody say they were gonna do the immortal life of Henrietta Lacks?
Yeah, that's me.
Who, okay.
Th-
who's
Mary. Mary.
Mary Norette,
And
thank you.
my co-worker at U of M showed the movie a couple of years ago to our department as part of our DEI initiative.
Right.
And she said she would try to join us.
Oh, good.
Oh,
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, Kim Ward, and she's fantastic. So,
And is that June?
June 9th.
Okay, perfect.
Mhm.
And then Liz is going to do July.
July.
Uh,
So
Warren-
I'm going to be gone in July. I'm going to be in Scotland in July,
Oh,
and I'm not going to try to join.
we
the-
might come with.
So
And what's our July movie?
the July movie is Never Look Away, and Liz said she was going to do that.
Good.
So Al, will you be doing sending out the link every time?
Well, no, that'll vary. Actually, I will not be at the next one. I will be in Greece while we're doing your next movie.
Okay, I'm not worried. Okay, so
Oh,
we can't have like one link that we just use every time.
There is probably something you could do to do that so that though we don't have to continually do that. Let me see if I can figure that out. If not, I'll
We'll
ask
do it.
Jack to set it up. But if we can,
Okay.
there should be a way to set it. I actually have never done that, but
Al?
I know
Al?
people have. Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but if you schedule them, they'll show up on people's calendars just like they did with this one.
Mm.
So if you were to schedule every one of them, the link would always be there for people each month.
But I've got to make somebody a co-host then also.
Right.
So
That's
that I can do that. That's why we bounce it back before Jack and me, because the host has to let people in, or you have to have a co-host, and then
Right.
that person has to have the extended
Yeah.
Zoom. So that's what the issue is. So if I set it up, actually, so I guess that doesn't work. Because if I set it up and I'm not there, then
Yeah, that's a problem.
you can't do it. So we do have to do it I knew there was a reason why we didn't do that. It's disappointing because I've asked HR, why can't I have my SIG leaders also have access to the
Right.
extended one, and they've said no. I'm not giving up on that one. There's so many good things we could do, and it's very difficult for me and a couple other people to be joined in on
Responsible
15
for all of
different well, there's only 5, sorry, there's 5 different ones that meet only by Zoom.
Oh,
So it means we've got to be available, which I enjoy, but I'm not always there. And so far Jack and I have been able to bounce around. If we can't, we can call on another board member that say, hey, we need some help, and maybe they'd sit in on the meeting. So
there's
we'll
always that.
we'll get it done, and even though it's not as smooth as what I'd like it to be. I actually have two other things though. One is, since you all like movies, you must all like theater also. And if you haven't signed up for the Stratford trip in October, I would encourage you to do that. We actually do we were talking about actors that don't become famous. The person that'll be on the bus with us was a Shakespearean actor, actually performed in England. And so he knows Stratford actually very well and can explain the Shakespeare plays as well as the other ones to you, as well as talk to you about Stratford. So if you haven't signed up, I forgot the exact dates in October right now, but it's on the UMRA website, and I need 5 more people, or I might have to take a smaller bus. I mean, the trip's going to be a go. It's just a matter of what size. And I'd like to have the little bit bigger bus will be more comfortable. So if you know anybody else, I have I had a deadline. I've extended the deadline to I think May 22nd to sign
Right.
up, but
Yep.
I need in order we want to do some backstage tours and things like that that you won't normally get. And I need to get those going, so I hope I don't have to wait. But I just waited till I get back from Greece, and then whatever we have at that point, we're going to have to go with it. But either talk it up. I mean, there's room for 56 on the bus. As long as I have 48 people, we can do the trip like that. And so if you know anybody, if you've signed up, recruit somebody else, hopefully an UMRA member to go with you, go with us. And so just that's my advertising for. And I
So do you know
also
the date?
Yeah,
um,
it's October 12th, 13th, and 14th, I think.
Okay, so that's what I was worried about.
Mm.
We have our SIG meeting is on October 13th.
Hold on a sec. I can get-
Yeah.
So should we reschedule that?
Yep.
what day the Stratford trip is the 14th through 16th.
Oh,
Right.
okay. So that shouldn't affect us then because
Yeah,
we
the
got
SIG, yeah,
the
SIG
SIG
meeting
meeting's
is
on the
13th.
13th. Great.
Yeah.
And
So
I
everybody
will,
should go, everybody should go see Hamnet and then
oh, it's wonderful.
Shakespeare in Love, because those are both Shakespeare.
Yeah.
We'll get a little sense of, I guess.
Hamnet was beautiful.
Yeah.
Just
It was
beautiful.
well done.
That was my next thing. It's one of the things that I thought this group would be good to. We don't get as much chance to watch a lot of movies, so I'm always looking for good ones if somebody's watched them. So that
So
to
we
the
just
people.
went and saw the Hail Mary Project.
Yeah, it's good.
Oh, I thought it was
Excellent.
just
Fantastic.
spectacular. It was
Yeah.
beautiful, just beautifully done.
It's getting really.
My husband said that I was doing my total science geek out.
I don't even like sci-fi, and I kind of liked it. It was just a little longer than for me.
It was longer than I thought it was going to be.
Me too.
But
Yeah.
I thought every minute of it was. I just loved it. I'm glad other people liked it as well.
Oh yeah, it was.
He fell asleep in the middle of it.
It's an interesting concept. Interesting concept. Trying to save the world.
The part that because I study animal behavior and communication and stuff like that. So the whole thing of how they created, the people who created the Rocky,
Yeah.
how they thought
Alternative
of
life form.
the sounds and the shape and all that.
Yeah.
It was just so good. It was, as soon as I saw it, I said, that's exactly right. It is a spider. And spiders are like the simplest form that robots take. You can move over all kinds of surfaces, and the sound, it was great. It was just so terrific. And of course, Gosling was terrific. I don't know how do you act against, often with a green, you're not even seeing the real thing that you're acting with. It's crazy.
Oh, good. Those are two good recommendations.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
Rose,
that's
you sent out some information about the film festival that was going on. Thanks for doing that. I don't know how many people got to go to it, but or attend any part of it. Any comments from that?
I also watched the second awards program, which was also like 70 minutes long, and they had about 10, 12 films. And that one overall I thought was better than the first. One was about Ukraine, and that was very good.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's not for everyone. It's pretty weird sometimes. And they say it's going to be a comedy, but the ending, it's not a comedy. So I'm not sure how they categorize those things.
Well, what's funny to some people isn't funny to others. So I guess that's one way to look at it too.
Even within a culture, I have a very good friend who grew up in Ireland, so speaks English as well as Gaelic, but he speaks, English is a language he's known since he was a child. And he's lived in America since he was 18, and he's in his 50s. And he still says American humor is just beyond him. He does not understand what we see as being funny as funny like 90% of the time.
Well, thank you, everybody,
It's like,
for participation
okay,
and for all your hard work getting to this point. And I guess we'll see each other next
Yes.
next month, and I'll look the minutes over and get them back to Teresa, and she can distribute them.
Thank you, everybody.
Uh-huh.
Bye.
Sounds
Take care.
good. Thank you.